Welcome back everyone to another video of World of Warship Legends, and today we're taking a look at the new premium tier 7 battleship Georgia. In the background here we have a game of domination on North. Now first off, let's take a look at the actual commander build that I'm running here. I think it's important with this ship to go with 100% accuracy. We have fewer guns, so making the shells count is going to be extremely important. So I'm going with Sims as my commander. Inspirations of Cunningham and A.L. Scharnhorst. And then as my actual skills, Flammable Cannoneer, tighten up the grouping, get a little bit more range, but at the risk of catching fire. That is one thing I have noticed, the ship does like to catch fire. Second one, we're going to go with Gyrating Drill Bits. Third, Marksmanship. Fourth is Reaching Out XXL to get that extended range. And then finally, we have a legendary skill of Will to Rebuild. As for the ship modules in slot 1, since we don't have the option to have the gun mods, I go with the AA mod. It's going to be extremely important to be able to keep those planes out of the air. Slot 2, I would go with propulsion. I want this ship to be moving fast and be able to get up and going from a sitting still in a hurry. Third is the only one, and that is just increasing the detection. And then fourth, and the key to the American battleship line, is the artillery plotting room. It reduces your dispersion by 11%. It's a huge perk to have and absolutely makes this ship that much more dangerous. So with that commander build and with that ship build, let's take a look at the stats. Georgia is equipped with 3 turrets, 2 in the front, 1 in the rear, 2 guns each, so you have a total of 6 guns. They are 457 millimeters, and if that sounds like a big number, it's because it is. The only ship currently that has bigger guns is the Yamato. With this build, I have a 19.5 kilometer range, 26-second reload time, so a really quick reload time for a battleship. HE is decently punchy. You have a max damage of 6,450 with a 43% fire chance. And then where this ship shines, the AP max damage coming in at 17,325. So absolutely devastating potential damage there with the AP. Some other stats on the ship: it has 65,240 hit points at the beginning. And then it has 3 heals. Now these heals reload in a hurry. 38 seconds. Now as comparison, with my same commander setup on the Iowa, it's a 90-second reload. So these heals reload in a hurry, and I think that's key because this ship does like to catch fire. Using those heals instead of using a damage con or using in place of a damage con, there's something that you're going to have to get used to and finding the right balance of. AA rating comes in at 99, so it's going to shoot down a lot of planes if a carrier comes after you. The top speed, 30.6 knots. However, if you apply the speed boost, you get an additional 8%, knocking it up to 33 knots. And that makes it a lot of fun when you're working the flank. Now finally, these 457 millimeter guns, you see this Baltimore pretty well trying to tank, and typically they could do that with battleships, but the 457 millimeters means that I'm going to be able to overmatch 30 millimeters of armor, and that means it's just going to punch straight through the battle armor of the Baltimore here. And you can see that first salvo was absolutely punishing. There, got a little bit unlucky with the dispersion and hit a little low. But at this point, this is the type of battle I'm completely okay fighting. We're going to lose our destroyer here in place, so if it would have been a little bit better if I could have taken out the Baltimore a lot faster, I could have kept the destroyer alive, but overall it's going to work out in our favor. So taking a look, that's 21 hits now and 64,000, pretty much 65,000 in damage. That's a decent average. I really like that 3,000 average per hit. There's not going to be a lot bounce, so you got to take that into account there. But overall, I like the average damage that this thing is putting out. Taking a look at the armor here, it's fairly well armored. 32 millimeter bow and stern armor. So it's going to be able to bounce the majority of the shells out there. Of course, the Yamato being the exception. So it's going to be okay bow tanking, but you will see that an Iowa can still get decent damage if they're putting the shells right above the guns into the superstructure. They can get pretty good penetrations in there and get 10k salvos fairly easily. But that's why I like to, and contrary to what you're seeing in this game, I typically like to keep this ship on the move, using the range and the quick reload to take out some enemies. You've seen here, we took a shot at the North Carolina early, we took a couple shots at the Yamato, took out the Baltimore, and now we have the Fletcher pressing us. This Fletcher shooting nothing but AP. It's extremely frustrating to deal with. So this is a just completely in their face. They're not worried about defending themselves. And fortunately, this is where the quick reload comes in. So I think it's going to take 3 salvos here. But only using the front 2 guns the majority of the time. I think this is the only salvo here where I use the back guns. But at this point, I want to keep that rudder moving back and forth in order to hopefully avoid any potential torpedoes coming in. But as you can see there, every one of those AP shells they're hitting are either 360 or 700 hit points coming off, and it's just absolutely brutal. Fortunately though, it is just superstructure damage. It's not going to be extremely taxing, but if you do the math, I mean, it's coming out to about 1,000 points every 10 seconds, and if this had continued much longer, this would have been the end of me. Fortunately though, the guns are able to finish off the job, and there we go. We're up to 33 hits, 83,000 in damage. A Kleber taking care of the Yamato. Great time by our team here so far. And so at this point, I know I just have the North Carolina. North Carolina is armed with 406s. So I'm going to make sure to keep the bow pointed in. I'll get the back gun swung in that direction just in case. But for the most part, I'm not worried about getting that back gun. We're just going to use our quicker reload as the way to get more damage done without having to really trade off any of our own health pool. So, initial reactions on the ship. This thing is one of the first campaign ships that we've had in quite a while that is well balanced. It's not going to come in and just wreck everyone. It's going to be able to compete well. It's not going to get trounced out there. It's just well balanced. Yeah, you get fewer guns, but you get a quicker reload and you get more damage on your AP than just about any other ship. I have to go double check that, see what the Yamato's is. But the damage on the AP is just astounding when you get a Citadel hit. And this one is different than the other American Tier 7 battleships. I mean, if you look at the lineup that we have now, we have the Iowa. We're about to have the Kansas as the tech tree. We have the Alabama, Massachusetts, Georgia, and if you want to count it, the Mighty Mo also. This one gives you the fast battleship aspect, a much quicker reload, really high alpha, and I think it fills a hole that we didn't have in a battleship at this point. So it's a lot of fun, but again, it's not just going to go out and be trounced. It can be controlled. It can be burned down real easily. So it's just fantastic. Wargaming gave us a well-balanced ship, and this is something I think we've needed for a while. In general, I think you're going to see the most success with this ship when you're getting out on the flanks, looking for those crossfire positions, because even one Citadel hit with these guns can be truly devastating for any type of ship. If it's a cruiser, it can be fatal. If it's a battleship, you're going to take a third of their health in one shot, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. You know, and if you get just the right RNG, you can wipe a battleship off the map in the first minute. So I think that's just key. The range accuracy combo, using the flanks, looking for the opportune moments to strike, and then not being afraid to switch over to HE if you have to. Now as we move to the north here, just looking for this carrier to finish it off, we're going to get some of the best RNG I've had in a while. We're going to get the Dev Strike on the carrier with only the front 2 guns, and it really shows the potential of this ship. You can see I'm making sure to go hard right on the rudder to avoid the incoming torpedo planes, but the front 2 guns just getting the job done. Curious to hear what you all think about the Georgia. Let me know in the comments down below. If this is your first time coming to the channel, consider hitting subscribe. We'll have a lot more videos coming at you shortly. Have a great day.